What is going on, good people? Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I'm Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
And I'm Brandon Bossert. Welcome on into the show. It is our first DSI Friday under the lights for this fall football season. Trey, can't wait to get this show underway.
Yeah, Brandon, here we are. We've been waiting for this for some time, and it's finally here. Elated to get this show underway.
Yeah, that's right. I'm watching how this Delaware season plays out with the new classes in DIAA. Some teams who before had no shot at the title, they're suddenly contenders, Trey.
Yeah, very true. Could be Milford, one of those contenders, possibly one of those teams competing
I'd say so.
in the new 2A class. We had a Maryland-Delaware showdown in our game of the week. The Bucks welcomed Cambridge South Dorchester in. How about this? 4th down near the Viking goal line. Milford back Aaron Sibbles moving to the outside. Jaden Jones brings them short of the first down marker. Good stop for CSD, but the Vikings couldn't get much going on offense thanks to the pressure brought on by number 70, Desmond Alugay. He finished with 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in this game.
Yeah, he was a force, but here's a force on offense. Aaron Sibbles stole the show for the Bucks. Give credit to the blocking. He had a freeway into the end zone, and he's just getting warmed up. Back to the Milford defense. Cambridge was juggling 2 quarterbacks today, and neither was comfortable against this pass rush. The Bucks were plundering this afternoon. Keyshawn White rumbling down the field. He sets up another touchdown by Sibbles. Listen to this line right here. 4 rushing touchdowns, over 250 yards rushing for Sibbles. And Milford takes it by a final of 34-14.
Look, I don't know why it seems like lately the Henlopen teams and the Delaware teams have been getting the best of our Bayside bunch. But we know there will be some growing pains for Cambridge, right? They're under new management, a new head coach, a new system, and Milford isn't exactly a slouch. So I'll be interested to see what CSD does going forward because they rotated 2 quarterbacks tonight. As the saying goes, when you've got two quarterbacks, usually you've got none, right?
Yeah, I agree with that, Trey. You've got a sophomore quarterback, a junior quarterback. You're trying to replace John Henry, who showed flashes of brilliance for Cambridge over the past few years. So that's going to be tough shoes to fill for Cambridge.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to Milford. They showed me a lot tonight. Aaron Sibbles, he's going to be an absolute problem for all of those 2A schools this coming season. And I thought the Bucks were going to be in trouble losing Marquise Gillis from the backfield.
Yeah.
But Sibbles stepped in, delivered a 250-yard, 4-touchdown night. He might be just as good as Gillis was last year. Yeah. And, of course, got to give credit to that O-line. They did a great job opening up running lanes all afternoon long. So 2A, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this season in Delaware because, honestly, I don't see any clear favorite right now, and Milford may have as good a chance as anyone. What do you think, Trey?
Yeah, look, Milford is a team that, like I said, I didn't think they were a slouch to begin with. They were playing some tough teams, some tough competition last year. They get moved into this 2A division, and look, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and they begin their Delaware schedule 2 weeks from now. They play another Maryland team next week. Can't wait to see how they stack up against those other District 3 teams.
All right, let's move to more action. Laurel is a team with some big aspirations as well this season. Brandon Bossert thinks the Dogs could be the favorites.
The Dogs are the favorites.
For the 1A title. Yeah, they got their season started taking on Sussex Tech. Tech had an 8-6 lead until this. They fumbled deep in their own territory. Laurel's Patrick Bell recovers. The Dogs get it back, and they take advantage. Javi White putting his head down and getting in. Watch the young man get up and flash the money sign. I just love this guy. He is always talking.
You expect that stuff from him every week.
Laurel takes a 14-8 lead. Fast forward seconds before the end of the half. Tech out of timeouts. They try to run it wide on the pitch. Laurel freshman Tate Walls, great play to stop it as time runs out. And into the second half, Laurel puts their foot on the gas.
Pretty.
Caden Shockley up top to Brady Lee. Sick catch there. Yeah, Tech said they would bully the Dog.
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't think so, Trey.
They got bullied tonight. Laurel wins in the Dog Pound by a final of 41-8.
That's right, the Class 1A favorites showing why they are the favorites. All right, the champs at home hosting William Penn in a Class 3A bout. We're going to move on to the next highlights right here. The Knights lost some impressive running backs to graduation, but here's a name to watch out for. It's going to be number 22 for Sussex Central. It's Andrew Long, the junior back, galloping 23 yards in for the opening score of the season for Sussex Central. William Penn's first possession. 4th and 2 at the Knights 8. Diego Rodriguez Costa with the stop, and the Knights take over on downs.
Back? Man.
And he's a senior this year, Trey.
Goodness.
Big guy for that defense. Capitalize again. Long bursting through, makes a cut, and that's a 10-yard scamper. Knights by 14. And then Zamir Gardner back for his senior campaign at quarterback, firing for Patrick Henry. Central cooking again inside the Colonial red zone. And again, they turn to Long, 17 yards for that hat trick. Central dominating William Penn to open the season. I thought Central would win. I didn't see a shutout coming, though. 20-0 the final score.
Last night, Cape kicking it off with Salesianum. Cape trying for a goal line stand early. Cooper Brown powering through on 4th and goal. Sal's grabs that early lead. The offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage in the first half. 3rd and long for Cape, looking to keep the drive alive. Hank D'Ambrosi firing for Keyshawn Mansfield. Ref says he's out. Check it out. Did he get a foot down? Hey, like I said
I think he got both in, Trey.
It's week 1 for the referees, too. Cape forced to punt. Vikings getting on the board in the second, though. Thomas Messick getting the pitch. He's got blocking in front. He's in for the first score of the year, but that was the lone bright spot in the first half for the Vikings. Check this out. Salesianum, Connor Campbell, dual threat. He scored 2 on the ground. And check out this dart to Deuce Ruslow. Cape rallying in the second half, but they fall just short. Salesianum takes it by a final of 28-20.
Yeah, Salesianum is really good, but I think Cape showed that they can play with some of the top dogs in Class 3A in that game. Over to Camden, Caesar Rodney getting their season started hosting Hodgson. The Riders having trouble holding on to the ball to start. Few possessions ended in fumbles. They're down 12-0. You can't make those mistakes when you are playing Hodgson. Brock Connor hit behind the line of scrimmage. He gets out of it, and he is rolling 45 yards for the score. CR cuts it to 12-7. The Silver Eagles back in the red zone now. 4th and goal from the 10. Jacob Barker, that was clutch right there, finding London Bright on the crossing route for the score. Hodgson's lead back to double digits at 20-7. Just before the half, the Riders looking to answer. That pass is picked off by the Silver Eagles, and CR falls in their opener last night by a 20-7 final score. All
right, Brandon, a couple of other scores to get to the people here. First of all, Seaford was leading Southern Anne Arundel 25-10 through 3 quarters up in Anne Arundel County. Now, we don't know if that score was final, but I'm going to assume that the Jays held on for their first victory of the year. As for Dover, they were also across the Bay Bridge. They fall by 1 in overtime to Arundel. That is a really tough loss. A great showing by Chip Knapp's team there on the road to start. One final Delaware team that has not played is Smyrna. They play Bergen Catholic, who happens to be the number 8 team in the country. That game is in New Jersey tomorrow. All right, let's move on to Maryland now. 3 teams already missing out on week 1 with COVID concerns, but plenty more action. Our first matchup of the night featured Y-High taking a trip to American Corner, opening up against Colonel Richardson. The Tribe wasted no time in this one. First possession, B.J. Cook gets the handoff, 29 yards for the score. Colonel gets it back on the kickoff. They're going to try a dive here. Darius Foreman, absolute hit stick to jar the ball loose. There's Malik Leatherberry picking it up, rolling 32 yards to the crib. So not even 3 minutes in, Y-High already up 14-0. They build up a 21-0 lead, but the Colonels get on the board here. Cam Erickson, one of their standouts, takes his kickoff 84 yards per score. Y-High just did not let up. Check out this run by Foreman. Puts one guy on pause, jumps over another one.
That was smooth,
My
Trey.
goodness. Big statement for Y-High. The Tribe opens up the season with a big win, 69-12 the final.
That was a real standout game for him. Look for him coming up in Players of the Week. Moving on to Decatur hosting Bennett. This one got ugly early on. Creason Muir there for the pick. He's returning it to the house, and the route was on 14-0 Seahawks. Is Ashton Snellsire the best passer in the Bayside?
Yes.
You can make an argument. Trey
Bryson
says
Coleman
yes.
is the best
I'll
receiver.
go ahead and say yes. There's a beauty to Bryson Coleman to the corner of the end zone. Decatur was dominant on all 3 sides of the football. Coleman strikes on the punt return, reverses course, turning on the Jets.
Oh, that was filthy at the end, dude. Come on.
He finishes off with jacking up the would-be tackler there. 49-0 at halftime, 65-0 at the end of this one. They just piled it on. Seahawks are in Dagsboro taking on Indian River next Friday.
Now, Brandon, we do have a few more scores in the state of Maryland. How about this? Kent Island comes from down 14-0 at the half. They knock off Easton by a final of 28-21. Remember, Easton was undefeated this spring, so it's the Warriors' first loss since November of 2019. An absolutely big win for the Buccaneers. Also, North Carolina taking care of business at home against Queen Anne's. They win this game by a final of 34-14. One final Bayside team in action, Kent County. They fall in their opener to Bohemian Manor by a score of 43-19. So to wrap everything up, Brandon, we saw a bunch. I'm going to start with Y-High. They looked absolutely amazing. Going to be interested to see what they do going forward, especially next week. They have a pretty big matchup, I would say. They got to go to North Carolina and check out the Dogs. In the state of Delaware, I was very impressed by what I saw by Sussex Central. I mean, when you're thinking about a team that won the state championship last year, lost a ton of talent, and they just reload with this long kid and some other names that we've heard before. Just simply amazing, the program that Coach John Wells runs down there in Georgetown. And I think that they are contenders again.
Oh, yeah, they're absolutely contenders. In Maryland, I think that we saw Y-High and Decatur. They basically confirmed what we thought back in the spring, and that is that they are two of the top teams in the Bayside South this season. Those two teams look like they have a lot of firepower this fall. But moving back to Delaware, I'm so excited to watch how this realignment shapes out. One thing that we haven't brought up is the fact that so many more schools now have a better chance of competing for a title than they did last year. So how will that affect schools' abilities to recruit new players? We've seen some teams like Seaford in the past struggling to field a team of at least 20 players. So are we going to see more teams bring more players out because they feel like they can compete?
I think we'll have more participation because of this rule.
I think so too. One team to keep your eye on, of course, we've talked about them. It's Laurel. Looking at that Class 1A.
On the Laurel train.
Yeah, I am leading the Laurel train, Trey.
I like it.
Looking at the Class 1A, I can't find a team that I like more than the Bulldogs in that class right now. I think you have to say that they are the favorites. The only other teams that I could even see contending with Laurel could be Glasgow, could be St. Elizabeth, but even for teams like Seaford, Polytech, Indian River, and Dickinson, I might add, all of those schools, they now have a chance to go out and compete. You know, Dickinson's had a few offers the last few years.
Look,
I need to see some W's, okay, Trey?
For all of y'all, Brandon's a Dickinson alum. He has been cheering his Rams on for quite a long time on this show. They have not been able to get many wins. But with the realignment, Brandon, like you said, who knows? A lot of teams that did not have chances a year ago definitely have those chances this season.
Exactly.
All right, that's going to do it for our A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we've got a local athlete spotlighted, when we come back with an all-new After the Whistle. Don't go anywhere. That and more when the Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
Coach Sean Strickland from Milford Football. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.